Her mentality is remarkable. She is not that tall of a player, around 5'6".
On May 28th in Paris, Alex Eala walked off court Suzanne Lenglen at Roland Garros after a straight sets defeat for the 2-6 to 18-year-old American Iva Jovic, a player Alex has publicly described as one of her closest friends on the WTA Tour. It marked her second consecutive first-round Grand Slam exit of the 2026 season. There were no emotional speeches, no lengthy explanations, and no dramatic social media posts, just a quiet walk back to the locker room. Then, only 11 days later, everything looked completely different. On June 9th at London's Queen's Club, Eala delivered one of her most impressive performances of the year, defeating Zhang Shuai 6-3, 6-2 in the opening round of the HSBC Championships. The victory extended her grass court winning streak to 6 matches and showcased a level of confidence that had been missing just days earlier. During one remarkable stretch, she captured 12 consecutive service points, overwhelming her opponent with precision and composure while earning a standing ovation from the London crowd. Ranked world number 33, Eala had suddenly transformed from a player recovering from Grand Slam disappointment into one of the hottest competitors on grass. But the biggest reward for that victory was waiting in the second round, where fate had arranged an immediate rematch against the very opponent who had ended her Roland Garros campaign. Iva Jovic, now ranked world number 19, had already defeated Eala twice as a professional and was preparing for what could become a third consecutive victory. This was the rematch tennis fans had been anticipating, but this time the conditions had changed completely. Just 11 days earlier, Jovic had controlled their clay court meeting, winning in straight sets while dominating the return game. According to ESPN statistics, she claimed the first return points battle 21-10, exposing a serve that had yet to become a true weapon in Eala's game. Jovic entered Roland Garros as the number 17 seed and has since risen to world number 19, with many analysts predicting that the talented American could break into the WTA's top 10 before the end of the season. Now, the two young stars were set to meet again on the grass courts of London, with valuable ranking points and Wimbledon seeding implications adding even more significance to the encounter. This rematch was no longer a possibility. It was officially scheduled. That is why Eala's dominant victory over Zhang Shuai became so important. Zhang is far from an easy opponent on grass. The experienced Chinese veteran owns a Wimbledon doubles title, has reached 3 Grand Slam singles quarterfinals, and has built her career around the kind of variety, touch, and tactical intelligence that often thrive on grass courts. She is exactly the type of player few competitors want to face early in a tournament. Yet on this occasion, Zhang simply had no answer for Eala's aggressive and confident performance. The 6-3, 6-2 scoreline reflected a match that lasted just over an hour, but the statistics revealed an even clearer picture of Eala's progress. Winning 12 consecutive service points on grass is no small achievement, especially on a surface where holding serve often determines the outcome of an entire set. She converted 6 of her 12 breakpoint opportunities while never facing a single breakpoint during the second set. There was no dramatic comeback, no desperate escape, and no reliance on luck. It was a complete and commanding display from start to finish. Most importantly, only 11 days after losing the return battle 21-10 against Jovic on clay, Eala produced a serving and returning performance against Zhang Shuai that looked nothing like the player who had walked off court Suzanne Lenglen in Paris. The transformation was immediate, the confidence was unmistakable, and it set the stage for one of the most intriguing rematches of the grass. The version of Alex Eala that walked off the court in London looked nothing like the player who left Paris just days earlier. Her serve had become sharper, her returns were taken earlier, and her positioning reflected the confidence of someone riding a genuine wave of momentum. That confidence was no coincidence. Eala had now won 6 consecutive grass court matches, a run that included a title at Birmingham, followed by an impressive opening round victory at Queen's Club. The streak was real, and it had completely changed the conversation surrounding her season. Now, the focus shifted to what this rematch truly represented. Eva Jovic and Alex Eala have built a friendship that has been visible to fans for years. They have spoken warmly about each other in interviews, trained together, and consistently shown mutual respect after every encounter. Yet, once they step onto the court, friendship gives way to competition. The two have officially met twice as professionals. Their first scheduled meeting came at the ASB Classic in Auckland, where Jovic advanced via a quarterfinal walkover, while their second took place at Roland Garros, where the American earned a straight sets victory on clay. Neither meeting was played on grass. Neither came with Jovic ranked world number 19, while Eala entered on a 6-match grass winning streak. Neither occurred with Wimbledon seeding carrying so much importance. This third meeting would be the first time both young stars faced each other under an entirely new set of circumstances, making it a fundamentally different contest from anything they had experienced before. The difference was not their friendship or the emotions surrounding the matchup, it was the conditions. On clay, Jovic's heavy ground strokes and exceptional returning allowed her to neutralize Eala's developing serve, a fact clearly reflected in the return statistics from Paris. Grass, however, changes the equation. A strong serve becomes a far more dangerous weapon, shortening rallies and rewarding players who can seize control with the very next shot. That exact pattern has fueled Eala's 6-match winning streak. She has consistently used her serve to create immediate attacking opportunities, finishing points before opponents have time to settle into rallies. Of course, Jovic remains one of the tour's most dangerous returners, and the 21-10 advantage in first return points she enjoyed in Paris was no accident. But grass reduces the number of opportunities a returner has to impose that same level of pressure. More importantly, the Alex Eala, who stood across the net in London, was no longer the same player Jovic defeated less than 2 weeks earlier. 11 days of grass court competition had transformed her game. A Birmingham title had strengthened her confidence, and the serve that struggled in Paris had become one of her greatest strengths in London. The biggest question was no longer whether Eala had improved. It was whether that improvement would be enough to overcome the world number 19 in one of the most anticipated rematches of the week. The atmosphere surrounding the match suggested it would be something special. During Eala's opening round victory at Queen's Club, the Filipino supporters packed Court 1 and generated enough noise to be heard across the surrounding courts. Their passion was nothing new. Earlier in the season, Sky Sports lead tennis presenter Gigi Salmon compared the atmosphere at Eala's matches in Dubai to a pop concert because of the overwhelming support she received from Filipino fans. That same enthusiasm carried into Birmingham, where unexpectedly large crowds turned out for a WTA 125 event, surprising local organizers. It followed her again to Queen's Club, a tournament sharing attention with Wimbledon preparations, and one where casual tennis fans typically pay little attention to the women's draw. This time, however, they noticed. The roar that erupted after match point against Zhang Shuai reflected a fan base that has been following Eala across the world for more than a year, supporting her regardless of rankings or expectations. Those same fans were expected to fill the stands once again for the rematch with Jovic, creating an even louder atmosphere. It would mark the first time in the modern era of women's tennis that a Filipino player entered a grass court rematch against a top 20 opponent with that level of national support already waiting inside the stadium. That is not simply a promotional storyline. It is a reflection of the remarkable atmosphere this match was expected to generate from the very first point. More importantly, the rematch itself was only part of a much larger picture. It represented another crucial chapter in Eala's rapidly evolving 2026 season and a pivotal moment in her push toward Wimbledon. This stretch of the season could ultimately define the second half of Alex Eala's 2026 campaign. It began with her breakthrough grass court title in Birmingham, where she collected 76 ranking points and climbed from world number 37 to number 33. Queen's Club now presents the next challenge, a chance to prove that her success in Birmingham was not simply the product of a WTA 125 tournament, but a level she can sustain against top 20 opposition. After London comes Bad Homburg, scheduled for June 21st to 27th, the final Wimbledon warm-up event, where reports have linked Venus Williams as a potential doubles partner, a storyline that would become one of the biggest headlines of the grass season if officially confirmed. Then comes Wimbledon itself, with the main draw beginning on June 29th, while the official seedings are expected to be finalized roughly a week before play begins. That is why the match against Eva Jovic carries so much significance. A victory would accomplish several goals at once. It would give Eala revenge for her Roland Garros defeat on a surface far better suited to her game. It would send her into the next round against another elite opponent, potentially number 2 seed Amanda Anisimova, or another highly ranked contender. It would add valuable ranking points towards securing a stronger Wimbledon seeding. And perhaps most importantly, it would convince analysts across the tennis world that her Birmingham title was not an isolated success, but the beginning of genuine momentum capable of carrying into the All-England club. A loss, however, would tighten the mathematics behind her Wimbledon seeding. It would not derail her season, as Bad Homburg and Wimbledon would still offer major opportunities, but it would reduce her margin for error. Every match during this stretch matters, because every ranking point counts. Jovic understands that reality just as well. Her own rise toward the WTA's top 10 depends on producing strong results during this exact portion of the calendar. 2 young players, 2 rising careers, 1 grass court showdown between close friends whose ambitions now place them on opposite sides of the net. The storyline almost writes itself. A strong run at Queen's Club could lead directly into Bad Homburg, the Wimbledon seeding announcement, and ultimately the championships themselves. Yet the most honest part of the story is also the simplest. On May 28th, Eva Jovic was unquestionably the better player. Clay neutralized Eala's serve, and the 21-10 advantage in first return points accurately reflected how thoroughly Jovic controlled the match. She stepped inside the baseline, took